Time now for my exclusive with top detective Mark Williams-Thomas and the latest on Madeleine McCann. And in a slither of fresh hope to Maddie's family today, German police began searching an old Portuguese reservoir in their latest bid to finally end the 16-year mystery into the toddler's disappearance. Officers were spotted this evening taking away a number of bags from the remote Algarve search site as they focus on 4 specific areas of interest. The Germans have long insisted Madeleine was killed after going missing while on holiday in 2007, and their chief suspect, German national Christian Bruckner, is currently serving prison time for separate vile sex attacks. But as police divers began scouring the reservoir's murky waterbed today, the elite British detective who helped first expose Jimmy Savile has lashed out at German prosecutors for pulling what he slams as a meaningless PR stunt. Mark Williams-Thomas fears today's hunt is giving tragic Maddie's family false hope and says his own detective work into the McCann case, including a bombshell documentary into the prime suspect, proves the Germans are barking up the wrong tree. So, Mark, great to have you here tonight. Do you think the Germans are unnecessarily pulling at the heartstrings of the public and Madeleine's family with this search today?
Good evening, Dan. Well, it's never really been a communication between the Germans and the Jerry and Kate anyway. There's very little communication there. In fact, there's very little communication between any of the authorities. The British authorities and the Portuguese authorities don't believe the line that the Germans have taken. They've been very clear. 2020, the prosecutor, Walters, came out and said that he believed that Madeleine was abducted by Christian Bruckner and killed in Portugal. He's unable to say where her body is in Portugal, but he's adamant at that. And since then, he has been, for the last 3 years, trying to collect enough evidence to bring a prosecution against Christian Bruckner. He is a long way away from that. There is not any evidence that categorically puts him outside the apartment. Although he come out and said that, my investigation showed clearly that wasn't the case. And when we put it to him, he acknowledged that. The problem is with today's search, and obviously that started yesterday, it will last probably for the rest of the week. The chances of them finding anything in relation to Madeleine is, I would say, very, very slim. It's probably nothing at all, because that area, firstly, has been searched previously on 2 separate occasions, but also that dam, that area of the reservoir, has significantly reduced over the drought period, meaning the bank area was dry. Now, if you're going to dispose of a body in that water, unless you've got access to a boat, and Christian Bruckner would have to have done this in the spur of the moment, he wouldn't have access to a boat. There are no boats at the side of that. You'd have to put the body close to the water's edge, in which case, over the last 16 years, Madeleine's body would have been found. So this is, sadly, I think, a big PR exercise by the Germans. Yes, they're following up a line of inquiry because people have said Christian Bruckner did use that area, but he also used 3 other reservoirs. And in fact, when I was in Portugal 18 months ago, we visited those other reservoirs. She could just as well be in those other reservoirs if that's their line of pursuit. Unfortunately, I don't think she is in those reservoirs at all, and I think this is a wasted exercise.
So obviously this is going to be a very difficult week for the McCann family, but you think they will probably know that this is unlikely to lead to anything?
I mean, Jerry and Kate have been through this, been in this position multiple times now over the last 16 years. There's been a number of searches that have taken place. And of course, on each and every one occasions, they live on hope that it will give the answers. But they're very realistic that the chances of something like this are very, very slim. They'll have been given a certain amount of information by the British family liaison officers who work with them. But that information will be fairly limited. They, I'm sure, they won't be waiting and thinking, gosh, this is the bit that's going to turn it over. But they live in hope that one day, and we do know that major investigations, even decades, 20, 30 years on, I've just done an investigation 30 years on, and we've found incredible new evidence. So the evidence does come forward years later. But sadly, I don't think this is it. This is about the German authorities, Mr. Walters, trying to keep the case alive, trying to keep the public involved in so much as giving their information.
Well, indeed. And I wanted to ask you about the public, Mark, because there's a real divide developing now. And every time I talk about Maddie on this show, I really sense that. There is a group in the public that are absolutely furious that millions and millions of pounds keep being thrown at this case. Scotland Yard detectives are in the Algarve for this search, so presumably that is costing more money. Do you think millions of pounds should continue to be spent every year in the search for Madeleine McCann?
So there's a contrast here. Yes, I do. I believe that money should be spent for every single missing persons. But when you put it into the context of all the other cases, it should equally be spent on those. And of course, that's not practical. So you get to a situation where you say, well, why is it that Madeleine McCann's case is receiving more money than anything else? This is utterly unique. I've traveled the world. I've interviewed the most major crime. And there is no case that's similar to this. The Portuguese case it sits with, that's where she went missing. The British have got involved because she comes from Britain. Of course, the Germans have come involved because they claim that Christian Bruckner is responsible. There are hundreds. There's 3,000 unsolved murders currently in England and Wales. And of those cases, there are multiple families who have nothing done year on, year out in relation to their case. But there are millions of pounds being spent in relation to Madeleine's disappearance. Why are the British police over there? Ridiculous. I mean, whoever warranted that to allow the British police to go over for a search like this, absolutely out of order. The Portuguese can relay that information back to the British if it's necessary. There's absolutely no need for them to be there. It is wasted money. And the reality is sadly, they are no further forward. Millions and millions of pounds have been spent. They are no further forward than the 3rd of May 2007, where they are now.
So disturbing. Former top copper turned top investigative journalist Mark Williams-Thomas, I know you're staying on this case and we look forward to hearing your developments on it. Thank you so much.